A Guide. It was fall of 1941. Brother Branham had just gotten married to Sister Mita, and they took off on their honeymoon. Brother Branham brought his little family way up into the Adirondack Mountains to a place called Hurricane Mountain. A few months earlier, he had made arrangements with Mr. Denton, the ranger up there, to stay in the cabin at the bottom of the hill. It would be beautiful in the mountains that fall, and Brother Branham would have a chance to hunt for their winter's meat. It seemed perfect. Brother Branham was a day early when he arrived at the cabin, so it was still locked up. But he knew that there was a lean-to back up in the woods. They could stay there for the night. After getting everything situated, Brother Branham headed out hunting. He told his new bride he wouldn't be long getting back. As Brother Branham started out, a fog rolled in. Before he knew it, he was on the trail of a mountain lion, then a bear. Then suddenly, right in front of him, a great big buck. That's what he wanted in the first place, so he shot the buck. Brother Branham hung the deer up in a tree and quickly started his trek back to camp. A storm was coming in fast. He started running up the canyon, heading straight back to camp, so it seemed. He ran and ran, looking for the turnoff that went back to his camp where his wife and baby were waiting for him. The storm was bearing down on him now, and Brother Branham was worried. Soon the temperature would plummet, and his family would be in real danger. He was running when he looked up and saw his deer that he'd just hung up. Brother Branham had went in a huge circle. He was on what the Indians call the death walk. He had to try again, so he took off in the direction he knew was right. It was nearly dark now, and he knew that his wife and baby wouldn't make it through the night without him. This time, he was more careful, noticing every little thing. But soon he looked up, and there it was again, his deer hanging in the same tree. Brother Branham was lost, and he was scared for his family. There was only one thing he could do: pray. Brother Branham got desperate and asked the Lord for help. After he prayed, he got up and decided to walk straight in the direction that he thought was right. That's the way he would go. Off he went, but just then he felt something touch him on the shoulder. It felt like a man's hand. Startled, he turned around, but he didn't see anyone. What he did see probably saved his life. It was Hurricane Mountain. The fog had cleared just enough for him to see the tip of it. Brother Branham would have been headed in the exact wrong direction. He turned around knowing that the Lord had saved him and his family. Some time ago, Brother Branham and Mr. Denton had tacked a telephone line up on the side of the mountain. If he could find that line, he knew it would lead him back to camp. He walked with his hands up in the air until finally he felt the wire strike his hands. Once he had the wire, he knew that he could find his way home. Brother Branham carefully let the wire guide him back to his wife and baby. The Lord had helped him back and saved his little family. Even though Brother Branham was an excellent woodsman, he still got lost. He quickly realized that he couldn't rely on his own ability to get him out of the woods. He needed Jesus. It's the same with us today. When you're in trouble, always remember to rely on Jesus for help. Pray, and He will hear you. You can hear this story on the tape, A Guide,